Hi, and welcome to Blue Mountain Yoga. I'm Diane, and we have for you today a yin to restorative practice. So we'll start with some yin and some dynamic movement, and then settle into some restorative poses. You'll need a large bolster, a small bolster, 2 blankets, and 2 blocks. If these are things that you don't have in your home, you can grab a couple of pillows and a couple of blankets, just regular blankets, and books or sturdy cardboard boxes make great blocks. So settle in for our restorative practice. I'm going to offer that you take a blanket and fold it on the mat and place it under the knees. We're going to start with a wide-kneed child's pose. So you're going to let the knees flail out on the edges of the mat. Let the heart melt into the earth. Option to stretch and lengthen the arms all the way out front, finding comfort in the shoulders, or perhaps you take a block and place your head on it and place the elbows around the block. Take 5 breaths here, noticing and tuning in to the natural breath cycle. Let the breath be long and deep. Let's set intention for practice. I'll offer to you today the intention of loving kindness. So as you go through your practice today, perhaps you come back to that intention and thought. Maybe you have another intention you'd like to set, thoughts toward a loved one, or peace, love, gratitude. Take your next 5 breaths. Set your intention for this practice today. Notice the breath. Become an observer of the breath, no judgment. Letting the focus and gaze, inner gaze, find the intuit area between the eyebrows. And drop in to that gaze. And we're going to rise. To tabletop. And we're going to go ahead and stack the wrists under the shoulders. Notice the eyes of the elbows or the creases in the elbows. Rotate those creases forward to the front body and draw the weight up into the shoulder blades. And we're going to find a cat, so drop the head to the earth, create space in the heart. And let's find cow, so open the heart, drop the belly to the earth, head rises. We're going to begin to make this dynamic. So move in cat-cow in a way that feels good to you. Inhaling on one breath, exhaling on the other. I like to inhale on my cat, but it's really personal preference. Just lingering in this breath and this motion. Staying with the breath, committing to the breath. Walk the hands in to the thigh bones and tuck them underneath the knees. And we're going to take a modified rabbit here, opening up the back. You always have the option of taking a full rabbit, taking the block and placing it under the forehead and drawing the hands around to the heels for a full rabbit, or you can take the block out and come into full rabbit without a block. And let the rear end be up in the air, so it's a nice back opener here. Again, find where you want to be with your head, modified or a full rabbit. Committing to breath here. Rise and walk the hands up the thigh bones. We're going to take a little baby camel here. So we're going to take the hands and place them on the glutes. And very gently just take a nice little tiny heart opener here. You can tilt the head back and extend the head back as good as it feels to you. If you'd like a little bit more depth in this pose, go ahead and drop the hands back for full camel. Extend the neck back if that feels good to you, looking way back over. I have a disc injury in my neck, so I choose to take this pose as a baby camel. And I don't tilt my head back because of I don't extend the neck because of the neck injury. Take a couple of falling out breaths here. Inhale. Exhale with the mouth open. Rise the hands to the sky. Clasp the hands together and open that upper back. So you're going to round out the upper back, the thoracic spine. Just letting those vertebrae be open. Rise the hands to the sky. We're going to drop them to the back, to the sides, and then drop to the back and open the heart here. So open the heart, lift the chest. Again, if you want to tilt the neck and extend the neck all the way back and find a deeper opening here, that is an option and available to you. I'm going to stay with a softer pose. Take a big inhale and let it fall out. Drop the hands to the side. We're going to find our way back into a tabletop. Again, moving in an organic way here, taking some cat-cows, rounding the back up, finding what works for you. I like cats more than cows just because it opens my spine. We're going to fly the right foot back for 3-point. Fire up and ignite the thigh bone. Take the gaze to the front of the mat so the neck is neutral. Pull all the weight off of the wrist and release it to the earth. Fly the left leg back. Firing it up and release. We're going to take hip to heels here. So take your right hip and drop it to your right heel. This opens the low back side body. Just enjoying the opening of that low back body. And rise, and we're going to take this same pose to the opposite side. So drop the left hip to the left heel. Maybe walk the hands over to the right. Exhaling with each exhale, draw deeper. Rise to tabletop. And begin to make this side to side, hip to heel movement organic. finding your own rhythm here, whatever feels good to you. I find that this really gets my back nice and loose. It gets into that side back body that creates back tightness. Find tabletop. We're going to go ahead and sit on the bottom, so just walk the legs through. And we're going to find a non-supported or unsupported caterpillar. So send the hands high, roll forward, hinge at the hips. Maybe you cross the hands over the legs. Maybe you reach out and find the toes. Maybe you reach around to the sides and find the sides of the feet. With each exhale, go deeper. Walk the hands up the thigh bone. And we're going to take a supported caterpillar here. So find your big bolster. And you can put it either horizontally or vertically on your legs. And we're going to find the small bolster and put that on top of the big bolster. And then we're going to begin to stack up the blocks or blankets. Everybody's body's different, so you find what works for you. This was too high for me, so I'm going to walk that blanket out until it suits me so that I can drape over the bolster. Let the neck hang, but there's no responsibility of the neck here. It's absolved, so that you're just very gingerly and gently draped over the bolster. With each exhale, find the opening of the back. Find way to breath here. Finding that intuit area for inner gaze between the eyebrows. If a thought comes, acknowledge the thought and find the way and the focus back to breath. We're going to roll it up, each vertebra coming up one at a time. Shake the head out. Go ahead and take the props, the bolsters, off to the side. We're going to pull the knees up and we're going to windshield wiper the knees here. Just releasing the hips, releasing the knees. Moving with breath. We're going to take a counter pose here. It's a modified fish. Take the hands behind you facing the glutes and just very gently open the heart. Hips in this version stay on the floor. Again, tilt the head way back if that feels good to you. I'm going to stay neutral. Opening the heart, just a little baby counter pose here. We're going to offer a deeper pose if you would like to go a little bit farther. Rise to reverse plank, coming all the way up off the earth. Drop the head back if that feels good to you. And lower to the earth. We're going to make our way into Baddha Konasana, also known as butterfly or cobbler. The feet come together and the knees drift down to the floor. We're going to take a blanket and use it as a wrap around the ankles and the feet. I folded it long ways earlier, and we're going to wrap it around the feet and then tuck it under the rear end and sit on it. It just gives you this wonderful restorative support. You can also take blocks and place them under the knees or a folded up blanket under the knees for more support. This Baddha Konasana will be with the spine lifted to the sky, the crown of the head lifted to the sky. You can take the hands and bind them to the feet or to the ankles. And let's take a falling out breath here. Inhale, open the mouth, let it fall out. Inhale, open the mouth. And we're going to hold this pose for several breath cycles. When you're practicing in your home practice without the video, you're welcome to hold any of these poses much longer than we're doing here. Typically, restorative poses are held up to 30 minutes as long as there's support. And let's find our way into that breath. If a thought comes, acknowledge it and let it go and come back to breath in our insightful meditation. We're going to begin to make our way. So unravel from this pose, just taking the blocks out, the blanket out. Find our way back with the hands behind us and windshield wiper the knees again. Just releasing anything you're holding on to in the hips and the knees. Recline to a knee chest asana. Draw the knees into the chest, and on this first take of this pose, we're going to let the shoulder blades melt into the earth and just focus on pulling the knees and rounding the back into the floor. Just release in the back. We're going to draw the knees and let them drop all the way to the earth. Take a long body stretch here. Lingering in the pose, draw the knees to the chest. And let's drop the knees to the right side. You can place a block under that low knee, so it would be the right knee here for support, or a folded up blanket is always nice. Take the left hand all the way out in a T, opening the heart. You can place a block under that left arm for support if you would like. Endeavoring to keep those shoulders on the earth for this awesome spinal twist as well as shoulder opener. Gather the knees at the chest. In this take, we're going to lift the shoulders all the way up off of the earth, coming in more of a ball here, more of a rounded back than we were doing before. pressing that low spine into the earth, pulling the knees to the chest. Maybe you rock back and forth if that feels good. Let's go ahead and drop those knees to the left side of the body. Setting up as we did before, you can take a block under that left knee. You can take a blanket under the left knee. Send the hands out in a T. Endeavoring to get that right hand all the way out and get the shoulders on the earth. Breathe in to that back body, releasing the spine. Find center. And let's take the knees to the chest again. Long body stretch here. Take a big inhale, let it go. Big inhale, let it go. And let's rise, kind of a rock and roll up there. And we're going to take a supported tortoise next. So you're going to take your big bolster, take your knees and bend them over the bolster. The feet touch on the other side of the bolster. And we're going to begin to prop up again here for supported chin and back. So take your props and stack them again based on what your body needs. Maybe you use blocks and blankets to support. Maybe you use a little bolster or a little pillow. And fold and drape over those supports. Again, opening the back. You also have option for taking the supports off and dropping all the way down for a deeper opening of the back. Just depends on what feels good to you, what feels good to your neck. What is your body calling out for today? Take a big inhale. Open the breath, open the mouth, let it fall out. Finding way back to natural breath or whatever your practice is today for breath. Let the breath come natural. Be grateful for the breath, the quiet mind. Refine the pose with each exhale. And what comes up for you here in this asana or pose? And rise, roll the back up nice and slow, roll the neck up. Just feel every vertebra as you rise. We're going to remove the bolsters off to the side. And we're going to set up for our last pose, Shavasana. Shavasana signals the end of your practice, and it signals the time to integrate body, mind, and spirit. What came up on the mat? What came up in your intention? We're going to take Shavasana today with the head all the way on the ground and on the side so that your leg is supported by the bolster. It's another spinal twist. I'm going to offer to you also that you go ahead and take a blanket, pull it all the way up the body for the restorative in the cocooning of this practice. Take a falling out breath as you find your way into this final pose. And again. Shavasana is typically taken on the back with the legs out, mat distance apart. We offer for our students to find Shavasana in whatever feels good to them on their mat. Whatever allows you to begin to integrate your practice today. Libby Lou loves to take Shavasana, so she loves to join. So sink in, find that inner gaze, drop into the low brain. And rise and come to whatever seated position suits you today to take our final leave. Crisscross applesauce, also known as Sukhasana. Take the right hand over the heart, left hand over the right hand, bend the chin to the chest. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for sharing your practice and your time with me today. And namaste, and God bless.